We're here at Rhea Farms in Fair Grove, Missouri to learn how to grow and pick the perfect strawberry, which just happens to be my favorite fruit. So I think it was 5 years ago you said you were done with city life and you came out here to Fair Grove. Take me through that process.
Well, we were looking for property. We didn't know where necessarily we wanted that to be, but we found this place out here. We were kind of looking for what we called a forgotten farm, and we wanted to bring it back to life. So after we were out here for about a year and kind of cleaned up the property is when we planted our first field of strawberries.
So were you born and raised on farms? What's your background?
I was born and raised on a farm, just a small hobby farm up in central Missouri by Lake Ozark. Sasha has a little different background than I do.
Yeah, I didn't grow up on a farm. I mean, we always kind of had gardens and a few like farm animals, but I grew up on the lake. And then when I went to college at MSU, I started volunteering at Millsap Farm. And that's where my interest peaked in agriculture, was getting to spend time out there and seeing what they were doing and the community that they built around agriculture.
So kind of take me through what led you to understanding the soil fertility and landing that strawberries were going to be your main goals.
Well, it just kind of happened. We didn't really have the intention on growing strawberries, but we had 1 year in Springfield, and then when we moved out here, I still work full time, so I needed something that I could do, and keep a full-time job down. Yeah. And so I thought, well, strawberries are seasonal. I just thought, let's try it out.
Well, let's go, instead of just talking about strawberries, let's go see them.
Okay.
All right.
So over here to our right, I think you mentioned that this was last year's strawberry patch, but I don't see any strawberries in here. What are we looking at?
So we're rotating our fields, and in between strawberries, we'll plant a cover crop. Right now we have ryegrass and turnips. After we turn over the strawberries in the field, I'll plant a sorghum mix, just as a crop that'll grow quick, that I can turn back into the soil and give a lot of organic matter and nutrients back to it.
What is the ideal soil type growing strawberries?
Really, you want a sandy soil that's well drained, because strawberries are real susceptible to fungus in the root system and leaves. But as far as soil goes, the best I can do is work organic matter into it, and try to put as many nutrients back in to help with that.
Well, let's go see this year's crop.
Okay.
So I can only imagine the work you guys put in to make that look like this. So take me through that process and what it looks like and when you start it.
It'll start about June, really. It's probably mid-August. I'll work the cover crop back into the soil and prep the ground for making the beds. We use this machine, it's called a raised bed mulch layer.
Okay.
And once I prep the soil and I get it, broke up pretty good, we'll take this machine and we'll pre-bed it by just running it down, and it'll pull the dirt in and mound it up. And then I'll come back over it with the plastic and a drip line, and it'll lay the plastic and the drip line about 1.5 or 2 inches down, all in one pass.
The plastic keeps the weeds down, but also keeps the moisture out.
Yeah, it helps me.
And it also helps keep the soil.
Yep.
Okay, keeping that temperature.
In those cooler months to keep the temperature warmer.
So getting us into those winter months, you're just waiting for planting?
Yeah, so we'll plant about September, which is a little different than most people will plant strawberries. Usually people plant them in the spring. But with the method that we're using, we'll plant in the fall, and we'll buy we'll buy plant starts that are little plugs, and about the beginning to middle of September we'll plant, and we'll put them in the plastic and try to get the plants to a certain stage by fall before they go dormant, or midwinter before they go dormant. And the plastic really helps, like she was saying, it really helps with the root development and you know, keeping the plants at that desired temperature a little bit longer.
So they'll develop in the fall. They'll grow so much in the fall that in the spring, after they've come out of their dormancy in the winter, they're almost producing like they're a second year plant. So you get those high yields.
You know, what we're looking for is these crowns here. And so when it's planted, we've got one crown. So you'll see that guy there, it'll be like that, and there'll be just a couple leaves sticking out. And so you're looking for these crown leaves to come out. Probably 5 would be ideal.
You mentioned getting the strawberries in small plugs. I'm sure there's lots and lots of strawberry varieties. What's worked best for you, and what are you and why?
The variety we grow is called a Chandler. We've had a couple other varieties, but their overall performance in this area is they perform well. They have good flavor, good yields. Typically it's a pound per plant.
Now that we know how to grow a strawberry, now the best part for me is eating them, but I think we need to pick them first. So what is the ideal time to pick a strawberry, and how do we know they're fully ripe?
Okay, so what you're looking for is a berry that's fully red. The redder they are, the sweeter they're going to be because they have a higher sugar content. So these I would consider ripe. They're red all the way through to the tip. Now that one's kind of light on the tip, but what you don't want is one that has this white tip. That means it's got another day, maybe 2 of ripening.
So do they ripen off the vine?
They do not. So once they're not like tomatoes. When you pick them, you can put them in your windowsill and let them ripen up. They're as ripe as they'll get. And when you're picking, what you're wanting to do is actually you don't want to just pull the berry. You want part of that stem on there. It actually helps them keep a little bit longer.
Okay. You're a consumer-facing business, the consumer side of agriculture. So there's got to be a lot of education that you guys are able to share with people, not just about how to grow a strawberry, but just what it means to the rural lifestyle and what it means to know where your food comes from. How has that impacted your livelihood, and do you enjoy that part of it?
I think we love that part of it, and I think that's one of the reasons we originally decided to do a U-Pick, was that having people out, especially kids and young people, and getting to experience this and see how food is grown, where it comes from, but have fun doing that and like getting kind of a reward at the end. It's really awesome to see. I mean, and our kids get to be a part of that too.